So when she came over and she began bamming on my door so rudely, I had given her my phone number. She could call me and say anything she wanted to say. I opened the door, and she began to wail on me about how she was trying to sleep, and I told her she'd just give me 15 more minutes. I was just trying to get dressed, and I happened to minister over the phone, and that's what I was doing. But anyway, when she was walking away, she said to me, "And you call yourself a Christian?" Well, first of all, I did not tell her I was Christian. When people ask who I am or what I believe or where do you go to church, that's the first thing they say. I say, I am the church, and wherever I am, the church is. And they said, well, what's the name of it? I said, I am that I am. And that's what I call myself. Yeshua HaMashiach said when they talked about their father being Abraham, and he said that before Abraham was, I am. And when Moses was sent to speak to Pharaoh, and he was asked, who should I say sent me? He said, the Lord said to him to say, I am that I am. And so I very seldom, unless I'm trying to make people understand, I started out saying I was a Christian, but the more knowledge I received and the more power I received in the truth that was revealed to me, the more I realized that what they were calling themselves was not what I am, or is not that I am. And so when she was running away saying this, I said, I never proclaimed to be a Christian. I am that I am. But what she was saying is, because you don't do what I think you ought to do and you don't act like I think you ought to act, you're going to hell. Because everyone who's not a Christian, or everyone who does not believe like I say they should believe, is going to hell. Well, she didn't realize she was manifesting the kingdom of hell right then and there. She was in hell because she had no control over me, and then no control over her appetite. And I said something I very seldom say. I very seldom put a critical spirit on people, but what I told her is, if you would try to control your appetite the way you're trying to control me in my own home, you wouldn't have weight problems. So these people who call themselves Christian, why are they able to do any and everything they want to do but judge everyone else? Because they don't believe what they believe. And why, when you ask them, well, what do you believe? They tell you what they don't believe and what they can't do. Well, the scriptures say where the Spirit of the Lord is, there's liberty. Liberty. What does liberty mean? It means that you're a sovereign being who has to take responsibility for your spirituality, for how you live and how you treat people. So this is wonderful. I can just go on and on and on and on and on without being interrupted. This is a new experience for me.
If I may say something, when you said liberty, something crossed my mind. I don't know if I'm accurate with it or not, but you can let me know. When it said liberty, I was thinking also it's saying that you should liberate yourself.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know if that would fall in line with what you're saying, because a lot of times they're involved in other people's affairs when they should be working on their own. So instead of trying to liberate somebody else, liberate yourself.
That's right. That's right. With the Spirit of the Lord there's liberty. And there's another scripture that passed, as you were speaking, passed through my spirit. Oh, and you shall know the truth, and the truth shall make you free. The truth makes you free. A lie puts you in bondage. I mean, so the scriptures bear witness to itself. And frankly, what the Spirit is saying to me now, check and hold everyone accountable who's lying to themselves and to other people about freedom. Because the way Yeshua HaMashiach taught again that in John 10, everyone should read that scripture, because he talks about, in John 10, he says, this is not written in your scriptures that ye are gods. Then he went on to break it down to them why they are gods. And that is also the scripture he's talking about is Psalms 82:6. And it doesn't mean gods as far as, because that's what Israel is. Israel actually means those who rule as gods. That's what Israel as a nation is. It's not a nation that they call it over across the seas, uh, practicing apartheid on everyone who doesn't believe the way they do, and saying that other people, just like they did here, going over and taking people's land just because they have a Bible in their hand, or Torah, or whatever they want to call it. So we have to realize what has been going on, and that it's time for that is over. And the truth has made us free from the law of sin and death. We weren't created to die to go to heaven. We were created to live and evolve into spirit. As Enoch, seventh from Adam, did. He walked with God and was not, because the Lord took him. And even as John did, if you read John 21, it says that Peter was asking Yeshua right before he ascended what was going to happen to John, because what Jesus was doing was prophesying to Peter how he was going to die. He said, what about this fella? And Jesus in John said, he said to him in verse 22 of John 21, verse 22, he said, what if I wanted to stay or survive or live until I come? What concern is that of yours? And so then it says, well, so it was rumored that this disciple or this apostle was not going to die. Well, one of the teachers that I had, this man named Harlow White, had a visitation from John. And this man taught. I already knew that I was supposed to live and ascend in the spirit. But this was the teaching of this man, Harlow White, and he received a revelation from John, which John just appeared to him in the car and told him to teach people to live and not die. So where the Spirit of the Lord is liberty from the law of sin and death. And that's the law of Moses that gives you only 75 years to live and tells you, okay, you can't do this, can't do that, can't do this. Well, you'll reach the time when we're operating in our 5 principles of love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice, where we don't need a multitude of laws. As a matter of fact, that just shows the decay of this society, where they just make laws to get people into bondage and to get the money away from them. And so, but if we don't recognize that and take responsibility for our own lives and expect to be set free, then there's no evolution. And we're here to evolve back into spirit. And that's why the scriptures say that the last enemy to be defeated is death. Now, what about that?
Okay. And on that note, I'd like to thank everyone in chat. We have a Poetic State of Mind, Alpo, Callywood, and Callywood is going to bring us the news, good news in the last 15 minutes of the show. And guest 2990 is India Declare and YJ. We thank you all for being here, and those who are listening on demand and streaming, we thank you so much. We appreciate your support. Okay. If anyone has a question or comment, please call 1-347-857-4296. And please don't let me forget those that are listening by telephone. Thank you so much for your support. Go ahead, Sister Khalifa Silverfox.
All right. Well, I thought surely by now I would have gotten some kind of feedback.
Yes, everyone listening understand what you're saying, because no comments or no phone calls and such. So you're doing fine.
All right. So,
what about you, YJ? Anything?
No, I probably would like for her to repeat a topic. I don't want to, for the benefit of the people that came in late, may want to repeat the topic.
Oh, yeah. Let's talk about spirituality and what it is not. Spirituality is not Christianity, and neither is it Islamism or any of the isms that do business under the banner of war in order to take from society what they want for their own particular purposes, when they have a set of rules laid out for everyone to follow, where they can put the people in hell if they don't call themselves Christians, and can just simply say, and you call yourself a Christian, which is actually telling you, well, you didn't do what I think you're supposed to do, so therefore you are going to hell. And all that's doing is showing you the condition of their hearts and where they actually have been living and are continuing to live and having a terrible fear of. I find that when I was still very much involved in the system, the religious system, I found that people weren't worshiping Yeshua HaMashiach or the true living, unseen creator of all that is. They were worshiping the God of this world, which is their devil. All they talk about is how powerful the devil is. Oh, the devil is. And when I started studying astrology and Kabbalah and Hebrew mysticism and metaphysics, you don't know how many people warn me, are you sure that's not of the devil? And I would say to them, are you sure you're not? You're full of fear. Scripture says there's no fear in love, and perfect love casts out fear. And so I came into the life to bear witness to living, and I didn't know until I was around 33 or 34, though that was my destiny, is to mark and study the Word in the Scriptures, and that the truth would be revealed to me at such a degree that I would transcend mundane, mediocre living and the religious systems that keep you in that box, which eventually will end up being your coffin.